Hey guys, Ep008, Footy Focus Podcast. Nic and Shez with you here again. So
Hi everyone.
we'll jump straight into it. You got any update on your chase of a footy celebrity?
Yeah, so or player. Last week we decided to get a special guest on the show. So just an ex-player or a current player, an umpire, whoever, and just maybe even like a local junior umpire. If that's. Do you ever working with children's check?
Have to renew my membership.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna start getting someone on. So it might take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. But yeah.
So is any progress from that? Or?
Yeah. So I sent my friend a text to get in contact with Lachlan Hansen because he knows someone that works with them.
Lachlan.
But in the meantime, I did email the Kangaroos media manager, Heath O'Loughlin.
Oh, I know
so I'll just read out maybe a couple of paragraphs of my email. Pretty much just telling who we are and what we're doing. My Port Adelaide supporting friend Chanaka and I recently started a weekly podcast due to our love of the game. We are 7 episodes in, and we not only discuss current issues in footy, game reviews and previews, but also discuss unheralded players. So I talk about how we don't have many listeners, but we have been getting...
That's good. That's impressive.
Yeah, we have been getting some good feedback, and we want to talk about... and we're interested in players that moved clubs, and even, I think talking about match day preparation or even the week leading up to a game might be interesting. So if we get a player that can give it some insight about that would be good. So I went on to say that I would like to get someone like Jasper Pittard if he's open for a 15-minute interview with me and Chanaka, and based around those topics that I mentioned. After listening to him talk, because him and Polak, they did like a media conference when they came. Yeah. So I was impressed by Pittard's media skills and intellect. Have you heard him talk?
I heard he said he lost motivation, I think, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, but not just that, but just how he articulates himself and his English. I actually haven't heard him before. No, he was really smart. He was definitely he was brighter than Polak. So don't know if
we're not getting Polak on the pod now.
So yeah, he used to play for Port Adelaide too. So I think it might be a good fit, and it'd be good if Heath replies. So nothing yet. I just sent this last night. Okay. So yeah, do you have an update?
Yeah, so I tweeted at Josh Jenkins. So I don't think, based on his history, he replies to tweets. I think he just likes to tweet stuff out. So I might give a call in maybe to the radio station, not to him, just to the radio station.
Yeah, okay.
SENSA. So we'll keep trying.
Do you know anyone that knows a player like through work? You know, didn't you work with someone in your old job that played VFL? Yeah. Maybe even if you get a VFL.
Robbie Costello.
That might be maybe.
Oh yeah. I should try that. Reach out.
That would be pretty cool.
Okay. Not bad. You gave me an idea.
Yeah, see, it's a competition, but I'm helping you because a tweet, I don't know how far that's going to get.
I'm going to sabotage the Pittard interview.
All right, let's move on to some sport news other than AFL. NBA is wrapped up, but there's still a bit more news.
Yeah, so the draft was last Friday, so free agency starts next week, so I'm sure there'll be some news in the next couple of weeks, so we'll save that for next week. But the draft last Friday, so it's two 30-pick drafts. 30-pick rounds, sorry. So of those 60 picks, there was 23 trades in the last week which affected those picks. So it was actually a really fascinating view. I actually watched the full replay.
Was that just the trading, was it?
Just the trading. So
when's the draft?
No, the draft was last Friday. So there was trades in and around the draft, but on the draft night there was...
Who went number one?
Zion Williamson. So he's the most hyped player since LeBron in the draft. But
okay, cool.
Hopefully we can get this into play in the AFL, because the AFL draft, you've watched it every year. Yeah. It's on the boring side probably.
Yeah, but what makes it interesting? Like live trading.
Just the number of trades. So you'll get before.
But there's live trading now as well.
But just the number though. So 23. Yeah, 23 trades out of 60. I'm not sure if that's going to happen in the AFL, but it's like nearly half the picks have been traded.
I think there was about 5 or 6 last year, which was... First year doing it, and I think
it'll increase in prominence anyway. Move on to the cricket.
Yeah, we caused the boilover. I don't know if it was the biggest upset of the tournament. Didn't Bangladesh beat someone?
It beat
New Zealand?
South Africa,
South Africa, yeah. But yeah, Lanka did really well. We thought maybe the pitch was a bit slower than expected.
It's a Sri Lankan type of pitch, but Your man Malinga with the...
Now my man's Fernando.
You called out...
39. I mean 49
You
runs.
called out Malinga and his beer gut not fitting on the bus last week. And he took 4 wickets. So
yeah.
You can
Egg
take
on
credit
my
for that,
face,
can't
yeah.
you?
Egg on my face because
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
in Malinga's stomach.
but-
That was a good win.
So he's got 50 wickets from 25 World Cup matches. So his legacy is pretty cemented now in
So
the
it's
World
right
Cups
up
anyway.
there, is it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he's fourth all time.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So pretty much Sri Lanka, Bangladesh or the West Indies got to win all of their matches. Otherwise, England, I think, will make the semi-final. But they're playing Australia, India, New Zealand. So if they win one of those, they're pretty much through to the semis. So I think we're a small chance. But again, we need to win all the matches. So we'll see from there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So move on to the news that we didn't cover last week. We actually released the pod after the suspension dropped.
Yeah, this was big news. Jaidyn Stephenson, he got suspended for putting 3 bets of $12 each on games he played in. Multi bets. So $36, and he self-reported himself because he was joking about it after a game, saying, "Oh, whoever cost him."
And Jeremy Howe
Yeah,
told him to
and
go to...
Jeremy Howe sort of dobbed him in or advised him to go to Jeff Walsh, the football boss there at Collingwood, and reported him in.
So we obviously talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the 10-week suspension is fair?
Oh, this is tough. It was only 10 weeks, but
Why is it 10 weeks?
they got the finals coming up
So
in 10 weeks. So
he can play week 1.
So this was negotiated. It was discussed. Collingwood and the AFL commissioners and whatever, they got into a room and his manager, obviously, they nutted out a fair suspension. So they came up with 10 weeks suspended, 12 weeks on top of that suspended, which I didn't know what it actually meant. But
What does it mean?
apparently it's not... he doesn't have to serve those 12 weeks unless he does something similar again.
So that gets added on to the next penalty.
So say next year he puts a $10 bet on Collingwood again. So does that mean he gets 12 weeks then?
I think he'd get life, but I think, if it's another indiscretion, he'd get another 12 weeks on top of that.
So what about next year he headbutts someone, like a tribunal thing? Does he get...
You'd have to add the suspend...
I heard it's different. I heard it's a similar suspension.
Similar? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
see,
we don't know ourselves, so...
This is just a way of AFL acting all tough and stuff, saying, "Oh, we gave him 22 weeks, not 10."
Yeah.
But it's actually 10.
Well, he can play in the finals and win a premiership.
Yeah, a lot of commentators have been critical about the suspended part of this sentence. But let's just talk a little bit more about does he deserve to get suspended at all, or is the penalty too lenient? Or?
Yeah, I think because those multis involved Collingwood matches, and one of the multis, we haven't been told how many goals he needed to kick, but one of the multis was him kicking a certain number of goals. In that St Kilda match, he did kick a 65-metre torpedo set shot late in the game to get those 3 goals. So, I mean...
he kicked it.
Yeah, so if he didn't put that bet on, would he have passed to a teammate inside 50? So that's when the integrity of the game gets...
But do you think $12 is enough for him to start doing things like this?
It's not enough for him to change the market.
So, no, not the market, but is it enough for him...
to impact.
Yeah, to like give a handball off to Pendlebury if he wants to get to 30 possessions, or kick instead to someone else.
We'll never know, and I think that's my issue with it. The fact that we don't know. Only he would know. And I don't think he's deliberately trying. So he's clearly trying to make Collingwood win.
If that's the case, we want to not think about how much he put on, but just penalise or punish him for the act of doing it.
Yeah. So it's something he can control in the end. He's obviously one of 22 players on the ground, but him kicking 3 goals, he has a certain amount of control over that. So that's my issue with it. But
no, I think the AFL did have to act and suspend him and set an example.
How about if it wasn't on Collingwood games though? Because they're all on Collingwood games.
No, you shouldn't.
Even then you
AFL players shouldn't be able to bet on.
Okay.
Because you don't know. They have like friends and maybe ex-players talk to each other, and they might. What about Supercoach? I think you mentioned Dan Swan.
So he had a good Twitter suggestion. He actually said you should ban footy players from any fantasy footy involvement as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think it must be already banned. Like surely.
No, a lot of them still do though. I think that was the issue.
No, like one of my friends who works at a club, a footy club, even they weren't allowed to have.
They weren't allowed to?
No, they weren't. And I think the rules might have changed now, but yeah, when he first started, they weren't allowed to have a Supercoach or fantasy footy.
Okay.
But it makes sense. If it's not in the rules already, they should definitely make it illegal against the law, footy law to have them, because it's like gambling, because you can win weekly prizes in Supercoach and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you get 30 possessions, you can get $100 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, you had some good points about the betting agencies and their connection to the AFL.
Yeah, so after the stream, so they streamed this on the AFL website, and the suspension, and right after it, you know what kind of ad popped up on the ads?
Betting ad, I'm guessing.
Exactly, betting ads, they're everywhere. You go to a game, it's all you see on the app, everywhere. So maybe it's time the AFLs, if they're going to punish players for betting, maybe they need to remove gambling out of the game altogether. And the AFL, they have a $10 million deal with BetEasy that who promote gambling and bets and stuff at the MCG and Marvel.
It's on the billboards,
Yeah, exactly. And it comes up after they kick a goal and along the boundary line, the LED ads. So do you think they should get rid of all that?
Yeah, if you're going to punish players for betting on games, surely you shouldn't have any involvement with betting. I mean, they can make enough money without betting agencies.
They make a lot of money though, so...
Yeah.
But they can do something, right? Like,
you take betting agencies out of it, they're still $1 billion industry.
Yeah. You know Geelong banned the bookmakers advertising in Cardinia Park?
Was that recent, was it?
Yeah, I did remember hearing something earlier this year, but after doing a bit of research for this, Cardinia Park where Geelong plays, they're not allowed to advertise. So
they've stepped up.
Yeah, and also the EPL as well.
So
Ladbrokes.
So they don't do any betting anymore.
No, they cut ties. So I was reading a Jake Nile article, and it was pretty informative. So if organisations like the EPL are setting the standard, so I think AFL, they're not too far away from following.
Well, like you said, the next broadcast rights deal's coming up, so whether the gambling ads need to be removed from it or...
Yeah, I think the next broadcast deal is going to be interesting because, like, Channel 7's going to be up against it. Like, KO, those online streaming sites, I reckon they'll be getting more and more popular. So
more share of the market.
Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah, so we'll go on to the something we are grateful for segment. So first sponsor, so it's the old Raffles place in Collingwood.
Oh, I love this place. I've been
yeah, you did. No, it's a good Singaporean restaurant, and we love our Singaporean cuisine, especially you, Shez. So
Singapore noodles always goes down pretty well.
Nice and wet. So
okay.
What are you grateful for, Shez?
Just players, like I said before, players moving clubs and finding form. So third time lucky for a guy named Jarryd Lyons. He was an inside midfielder at Adelaide, but couldn't break in because they had the Crouch brothers and Dangerfield when he was playing there.
Fine.
Yeah, moved to Gold Coast, but I don't know, it just didn't click for him. Not too sure why, because he played most of their games, but the coach wasn't a fan for some reason. And on the weekend, he kicked 2 goals. He had above 20 possessions and 6 clearances. So he's pretty much Lucky Neal's second-hand man. So he's really provided some depth to that Lions midfield. Had 11 tackles as well against Adelaide when he played. I mean, no, he had 11 tackles. Again, yeah. And so maybe he's not good at the defensive stuff, but he's not the quickest player. But he's doing his job on the inside.
Well, I think that's why he wasn't Jew's favourite player in Gold Coast, because he didn't like his spread from the contest. But Neil needs support in the midfield, and if he's giving that,
exactly. So I guess players, they can't do everything. They can't spread and be.
Can't be good at everything.
Exactly. So, do you have one? What are you grateful for?
So Nic Nat, the second return of a player. Last week was Charlie Dixon. Now it's Nic Nat. So he actually signed a 3-year deal on the back of his return, which I found pretty interesting.
One game.
Coming in on the back of two ACLs in a row, right? So, I think, like last week, I think the Eagles should just keep him in the waffle for a couple more weeks. The finals campaign's a priority. Hickey's doing a serviceable job in the ruck.
I read that he might come straight in.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't know. But I agree with you.
Yeah,
do what they did with Dixon and Lyons.
He only played 64 minutes in, I think, 8-minute bursts, so they need him for the finals. I think, the 6'6".
I think the AFL need him, don't you reckon?
Oh, he's the most marketable player in the
definitely,
West.
Yeah. I feel the AFL, like as an industry, we've been robbed of Nic Nat some
Yeah.
highlights.
Well, especially the 6-6-6. Well, I think that rule kind of suits him down to the ground. I think Grundy and Gawn are probably the most elite ruckman by far in the AFL.
Yeah, okay.
Nic Nat should join them pretty easily if he gets back to form.
I'd like to see him, live up to his potential. I don't know if he can do it with two
He just
knees,
needs a good
but
run at it, yeah.
just don't kick the winning goal against the Kangaroos again, and I'll be happy.
After the summer.
All right, we watched a bit of this next game. We're going to review.
Yeah, what's the last quarter?
Cats. Yeah. So, what do you think? What do you make of it? You must be a happy Port supporter.
Yeah, I think.
But this feeling, I reckon, is a feeling of deja vu for you.
Yeah, we like you said, we had a good scalp beating the Eagles in Perth earlier this year, but then we dropped some winnable games. So it was a really big build-up to it. We dropped our last 2 B&F winners in Ryder and Westhoff.
Yeah, big statement, yeah.
So
as a coach, that's pretty conservative.
Well, you kept saying Scott wasn't dropping play. I think the first time Kenny's done that. So the 11-point margin, I thought, flattered the Cats in the end. We were plus 16 clearances, plus 36 contested possessions, and plus 10 marks. Scotty Lycett is clear the best on ground. 24 touches, 18 contested, 41 hit outs,
massive,
11 to advantage, 9 clearances and 6 tackles. So clearly the best on ground. Tommy Hawkins, who you said should be a lock,
having a really good year,
All-Australian full forward, which he should be. He lowered his colours for the first time all year to Tommy Cleary.
How did Gray go? Was he... Because he's been a bit down a little bit.
Yeah, he was carrying a few injuries early on, not up to his usual standard of form, but he kicked 2 goals and 30 possessions.
Yeah, and also Dan Houston, he's normally a defender, but Ken Hinkley switched up a couple of positions, and he was one.
I was going to mention in my underrated segment a couple of weeks ago, but
we can mention the whole back 6 for Bottle Lady.
No, but he tagged Tim Kelly on the weekend, which first time he's done that, I think. And Ryan Burden, I think, is really good, been a really good pickup. And Dersma,
underrated.
Do you know where Dersma's ranked in the GPS numbers in the AFL?
First year player. High. I know Ben Brown was up there, but
he's top 10.
What, in the whole competition?
Dersma.
What, just first year players?
But no, overall. So he's, I think, about 15, 16k a game, which is unbelievable for first year players.
How's he doing that? We're carrying that massive arrow in his back as well. Bow and arrow.
He needs to celebrate a goal. No, but Charlie Dixon, he's just a massive difference. Didn't have a big game, but he just straightens us right up. Doesn't get outmarked at all.
No, it's good. Good win. He can. The second game back might be a bit harder because I've heard the players, they struggle a little bit with second game back. So it'll be interesting to see how they go against Bulldogs.
Well,
where's the Bulldogs game?
At home. So the next 3 weeks are at home. So they need to back it up.
So they've done this before. Port they can come up for big games and win, but need to back it up.
Need to step up. So you got a good preview of this week's game, Sean?
Yeah, I had a quick look through, and the one that was the most interesting I find is the St Kilda hosting Tigers at Marvel on Sunday. So this looks like a must-win game for both clubs, don't you reckon?
Yeah, the Saints are getting hammered in the press after.
Yeah, speaking of getting hammered, it could be the final nail in the coffin of Richo. But also, on the other hand, it could be another nail in the coffin of Richmond's top 4 chances, meaning it becomes really difficult for them to win.
Well, they're 9th at the moment.
Yeah, they're 9th. They've lost their last 3 games. But we'll talk about that a bit later, but it's going to be a really important game. A lot has been made of St Kilda's lack of effort. Nick Riewoldt in the morning on SDN was very critical, and said the players didn't show no effort, and saying no effort. Don't you reckon as a footballer, as AFL footballer, that's the worst? Like not having skills or dropping marks or whatever, fumbling is one thing, but fatigue. The effort, What do you reckon about Hanbury and Carlisle? Do you reckon they'll help out?
I thought Hanbury was pretty good in his return back. Carlisle probably is a bit scratchy, but they need to play. St Kilda are short of some match winners, especially Jack Stephen not playing
and Geary,
as much this season.
The captain. So definitely, second game back again for these two. So you'd hope they can get up. Tigers are probably going to get a couple of defenders back, but I think one of the key matchups would be Josh Bruce. To see how he goes against Garthwaite if he's matched up on him. So
Garthwaite's playing at the number 1 tour and he's not living up to it. I think he's a big step down from Rance and
Ashbury.
And Ashbury.
So I reckon he's got to bring the ball to ground so these Jacks and Gresham and players can get on the end of it.
That's where their stars are, the Saints. The Saints are,
And the other matchup was Hooley. He's in career best form, so someone's got to be accountable or tag him or something. So I reckon, Nic Nat, have you heard of him?
He kicked a couple of goals in the week.
Yeah, kicked 3. He's a mature age recruit. He's played for Essendon's VFL team last year.
Oh.
He's quick, so I think he's like 23 or something.
Probably the only bright spot for the Saints on the week.
He was only bright spot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was. So that would be an interesting matchup. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon who's going to win?
I think Tigers will win, but I expect a much better showing from the Saints.
It's at Marvel. Tigers have lost their last 2 games at Marvel to Roos and Bulldogs, who around the same ladder position as St Kilda. I might go out on a limb and say St Kilda will pinch this.
Ooh. Upset.
Yeah.
No betting segues today.
Let me ask you about some All-Australian Smokies. Do you want to...
Yes, every team's had the bye, so my one this week's Brad Shepherd. Doesn't get much recognition in the media. He's just never beaten. Missed the final series last year after tearing his hamstring. Tore his hamstring, I think, in the qualifying final.
Yeah.
He outpointed Fantasia on the weekend. He's just a critical member of the back 6. Not talked about as much as Hearn and McGovern and Barras, but he's pretty indispensable back there. Going at 20 touches a game at 84%.
He needs to dye his hair blonde or something like Luke Ryan.
Yeah, now he's back to the normal colour, but he's pretty critical back there, I think. And how about you, Sean? Do you have...
I've got a couple. Harry Himmelberg is a forward for the Greater West Sydney Giants that he's been really impressive every time I've seen him play. He seems to do a little bit more every time. He's only 23, so he's just starting to come into that prime. So with Patton out and no Boyd, obviously. So he's providing a really good target, like a secondary target. Yeah. He's on track to kick 40 goals as well, so he's very agile as well for a key tall. So complements Cameron very nicely. And
well, they're probably the only team in that top 4 that have got a 3 tall attack. Finlayson has been really good too, but Himmelberg's really impressive. He dominated against North, I think, the other day too.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I reckon a couple of years' time we'll see the best of Harry. And Harry with Carlton's Harry. Be interesting.
Okay. And you've got another good one too?
Brendan Maynard. Have you seen him play?
All I remember for him is that he gave up that mark got pushed out by Rioli in the grand final.
How's he? I don't know. I don't know if that was a free kick or not. We haven't mentioned a lot of Collingwood players, so we might
more Collingwood
do that. Yeah, but he's been a really important member of the back 6. So similar to Shepherd, he's very durable. He's played a lot of games since his debut. Had 19 touches on the weekend and 78% efficiency, which you need to have as a defender. 14 pressure X as well, which is not too bad. But yeah, he's just using the ball a lot better, I reckon, this year. He's got a booming left foot.
Yeah,
so
takes their kick-outs too.
Yeah, so exactly. So, he's been pretty good and unheralded.
Let's move on to the hard-hitting questions. So, sponsored by Sandy's today.
Sandy, so, what are they? What do they do?
It's not the legal name is actually Sundarun. Is that the way you say it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
What is this the law for?
They do some visas, Sri Lankan visas. So just the illegal immigrants on the boat.
Not sure how many illegal immigrants listen to this, but yeah. Do we need to say something nice about him or what?
No, not really.
Consider not a shout out.
Clown.
No, he's a good guy. Okay. I'll ask you something about footy. Should Alan Richardson, the St Kilda coach, lose his job if the Saints don't make finals?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, if they concede another 9-goal quarter, if they have more performances like that, then his position becomes
huge,
untenable. But unless they can get a Clarko or a Simpson or line a Longmire, I think he's very extenuating circumstances this year. No Hanbury, Stephen, Carlisle, Max King and Geary for extended periods. I think patience is required. They maybe get some... I think they changed over their assistant coaching group last year. I think you got to give them a couple of years, I reckon.
I think similar problems with the Kangaroos, just development. Like, these young players need to come on.
Well, you saw what happened with Dimmer and Bucks. They were shot a couple of years ago. Now they're probably the best 2 coaches in the game. So
it's hard to always blame the coach. Sometimes it's just player development or... recruitment maybe. Like, they've got 2 boys named Hunter Clark and Nick Caulfield. They're first-round draft picks. Yeah, they're top 10 draft picks, so they need to come on.
Yeah, so I'll ask you, Shahan, the Tigers. So you think they'll make the finals this season?
I think they will, but they need to do a bit of work. So they do have their last 9 games or something. They're at the MCG, so Some of them are against interstate teams, West Coast, Port, Giants. You'd reckon they might win at least 2 of those.
You bet against them this week, though.
Yeah, I did, yeah. But they need to win. If they lose this week, it becomes really important.
Yeah.
They play teams they play Gold Coast, Carlton, Melbourne.
Must win.
Yeah, and they'll start favourites against St Kilda. But I reckon they'll just sneak in, but
Yeah.
I reckon they're not
four.
just making up the numbers this year. Yeah. Because they need to gel as a team as well. Like Lynch there, and if Rewalt comes back, they need to
Hasn't
find
played
that
much.
dynamic.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you reckon? Same thing?
Yeah, I think maybe 7th or 8th.
Yeah, and then win a final maybe, if they're lucky.
Depends who they play. If they play someone like Adelaide, probably. But
Yeah. Alright, I might ask you something about Freo. Should Freo grant a trade request from Brad Hill back to the Hawks? No way, that's got to be a rumour.
There was a report on the weekend that they denied him a trade request. But then I heard, I think it was one of the West Australian reporters on SEN on the way home, he said it might not have been an official request, but he asked if there was a possibility.
Yeah.
Now, I think, player control, I think it's player control going too far. The Dane Beam situation is pretty similar. You've gone to a club, requested a trade back for family reasons, and then once that's done, I think you shouldn't be allowed to request another trade. It's pretty hypocritical to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Freo gave up a lot. They've signed him to a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
He's probably the All-Australian wingman at the moment.
I reckon Freo just, make
don't
him...
cave.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Make
he's just
him see
looking
out
at
the contract.
Chris Tarrant and Trent Croad all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we might go on to recruit recognition.
Yeah, you've got a good one this week.
So I think Brendan Matera, was he traded last year or the year before?
I think last year was his first year.
Last year, yeah. Okay, so he's been in the system for a few years now. He drafted to the Suns, and he's a nephew of a AFL great.
Philip, right?
Yeah, Philip, yeah. So he's really improved this year as well. So his second year at Freo, he kicked 2 goals, 2 on the weekend, even though the Freo lost. But he's really working hard up the ground and getting involved in chains and stuff, and he's a smart little player. Did you see that kick he kicked while he was lying on the ground?
Yeah,
that was
player
crazy.
of the weekend. Your player of the week.
That should have been a player of the round. Yeah.
Good segue.
So he kicked it. He was on the ground. He kicked it. I think on his left foot over a Demon player onto the chest of a Freo player, and then I think he was a goal in the
goal
end.
assist. Yeah,
goal assist. So now I think he's living up to what was promised, hoped.
The Suns, yeah.
Especially when he was at the Suns. So don't know if he's being back home or not, but no, he's doing pretty well, Brendan Matera. Do you have a recruit? No.
Oh, not this week. I think the Matera one was really good. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that one, but no, that's a good one. I think we'll keep it at that for this week.
But you do have a hot take.
Do have a hot take, and I think you've got some thoughts too.
Yeah, go for it.
So we'll go with Paddy Ryder. So Port biased again, but I think his future's really up in the air at Port. You saw what happened with Lysett as the sole ruckman on the weekend, best on ground. Pete Laddams and Sam Hayes are coming through in the Sandful, and they're pretty highly rated.
Yeah, there are some ruckmen that really like the responsibility of being the sole ruckman, yeah.
Even Ryder's one of those players.
Ryder and so Todd Goldstein's one for us as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind the 5 minutes off the ground a quarter, but generally, like to ruck solo.
Yeah, I think he's asking for a 2-year deal at the moment, which I think
Ryder.
we're only offering him 1, which I think is pretty responsible, this management. We've made some big mistakes in the past with Lobie and Homsch and Jackson Trengrove offering them big money deals, and then they fall out of the side, and then you've got to trade him. So
and you have a guy called Sam Hayes in your ruck, who's coming off a knee, but he was like the best ruckman in this draft.
Yeah, All-Australian ruckman, I think, under 18. So I think you asked me the other day, which team is he most best suited to?
That was what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so who do you reckon, if he was to request a trade? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so go. Who do you reckon?
So I think, Bulldogs. I think with Tom Boyd retiring, they've got a bit of salary cap room. Tim English, have you seen him play?
Yeah, he's getting better and better. Yeah.
So I don't think he's ready for that number 1 ruck role right now, but a couple of years under the tutelage maybe.
Yeah. No, that's a good call. Great West Sydney, there might be another one. Like Mummies, he looks pretty cooked.
Well, I thought about this the other day. You reckon he'd be the difference for a team like Cats or GWS winning a premiership or a top 4?
Not too sure about the Cats. I don't know if they have the cap. Even Great West Sydney might not have the cap, but yeah. those teams, it'll be to a team that's contending, I think. There's no point going to a team that's down the bottom. Even Richmond might be another option.
Yeah.
They don't really have a ruckman.
Well, Nankervis is probably slowing down a little bit.
They do have an. He's injured at the moment, but even for like depth, maybe Ryder.
Yeah.
And Ryder can drift forward as well. So.
Well, I think he's probably the best ruckman in the game. I mean, around the ground there's better ruckman, but the 6-6-6 rule, I think he'll definitely find a home. So, I mean, if he goes to the Dogs, Bont, Libber, and Dunkley would just love it. Ruck into him.
Is he a free agent? No, he's not.
No, he's not a free agent.
Okay,
One.
Yeah. You probably get like a end of third or something back, maybe if you're lucky.
How about Golston? You reckon he'll go at the end of the year?
I think he'll stay, but I wouldn't mind him going.
Get a first rounder from a contending club?
Nah. We'll get like an end of second rounder, hopefully, if we're lucky. But, yeah. Do you have any, should we preview next week's episode?
Yes, we might do a few more under-recognised players who should be in the 40-man All-Australian squad. And then, you got any topics you want to discuss?
No, we'll hopefully have an update on the chase for a footy guest. And I'm going to the Collingwood Kangaroos game, so I might review some Collingwood players. Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I think maybe the violence at the footy, maybe we'll talk it up and then...
Yeah, we'll find something. I think that's about it for today. You can find us on Buzzsprout and
Facebook,
YouTube.
Spotify, YouTube.
Yep. All right, thanks for listening.
Okay, see you guys.